Hello and welcome back to the Leinster Listen. I'm your host Mick Lennon, and this is episode 18, the review of the Wolfhounds versus Brython Thunder in the Women's Celtic Challenge. The episode content today will be overall opinion of the game, the analysis of the game events, the Celtic Challenge positioning after this weekend, and in a discussion section on the first ever Women's Lions Tour. Alright, so just getting straight into the opinion of the game there. Look, the Wolfhounds played in the Affidavit Stadium on Sunday, but realistically, they dominated. It was an absolute annihilation. It was kind of like watching a Sunday League team play a League of Ireland team, honestly. It was, look, not to dog Brython Thunder into the ground here. I think they're a great team, but the Wolfhounds were just excellent. It was just, look, pace was the word to describe that game. It was amazing. Vicky Elms-Kinlan there, for example, some speed. Oh my God, like some pace. Obviously, all the back line there were just, the pace on them was unreal. But like Vicky Elms-Kinlan there, O'Connor, even Linda Jugang. Like, oh my God. I don't know how props got fast lately, but it's unreal. Linda Jugang there made a run from the 10 metres and bet 3 of the Brython Thunder back line. So, look, pace is exactly the one word to describe this. If I was given like a proper opinion there, it's kind of like, you know the scene from The Simpsons where the kid's like, stop, he's already dead. I can't play that, obviously, because Disney will hunt me down. But that's how it felt. It was just an utter domination, a great display of how strong the Wolfhounds have been this season. And they are 4 for 4 now, so they've definitely made a statement with that. Every time Brython got a chance to get within our 5 metres, the defence was fantastic. It just stopped their play completely. And then what happened was it went out to a back. They made 30 or 40 odd metres, offloads it, and there it goes again in for another try. It was an 11 try bonanza, and it was also a clean sheet. So it ended up 69-0, 11 tries for the Wolfhounds. Just amazing. That is some display of rugby. Dan O'Brien's kicking there, fantastic. She set up 2 or 3 tries herself, pure assists for that, amazing. Penalty kicks there as well, pinpoint accurate. She did falter a little bit on the conversions, but it won't take it away from her. She played a blinder throughout. Scrums there were absolutely dominant in the latter half. I think the first half, Brython Thunder came out strong. Cecilia Tuipulotu, which actually is no relation to Sion Tuipulotu, mind you. I did look it up. And if they have hidden that from the internet, fair play, because I can't find anywhere, but they're not related, supposedly. That Cecilia Tuipulotu had actually won one of their scrums very, very strong herself. But look, that was to no avail. Second half there, and even coming into the late stages of the first half, the scrums were completely dominated by the Wolfhounds as well. Erin King there, number 8 in the back, was playing a blinder, getting that ball out of that scrum at the perfect time as well. She actually assisted a try off of one of those scrums, so look, there you go. Lineouts again, fantastic. Erin King again, being lifted in some situations. One near the end actually resulted in a try. Look, fantastic. The lineouts were just very good. The one I'm talking about there was actually a maul that went in from, I think, the 5 metre line. Push over try. Perfect. Defence was good, but was it really needed? I'm not entirely sure. When you were putting away 11 tries, you could nearly forget about the defence at that point. But look, the tackles were solid. Most of the rucks were contested. There was a couple of turnovers there too. So, all the right things coming out from that game. Again, the forwards making their mark there. And look, that's what you want. But really, and I'm going to go into here, the attack was the highlight. The whole thing was just a hot knife through butter. Aoibhinn Riley, absolutely excellent player there. The passes, the offloads, the vision for the ruck play there as well. Played a fantastic game as a scrummy, so good. As always, Aoife Dalton, although she didn't get on the actual sheet herself for scoring a try, she must have assisted pretty much all of the tries. She's so good at the carries. She's so good at tackling. She did a couple of jackals there. I'm not entirely sure if she got a turnover or 2, but she was in every ruck contesting them, so fantastic. She didn't get a try from lack of trying anyway. That's for sure. And it probably was actually a lack of glory hunting, which is fantastic. That's what you want. If it's a better option to pass out your winger, or in this case out to your prop who's at pace, why wouldn't you? Look, I can definitely see an awful lot of these women playing some stellar rugby in the Six Nations this year, and a lot of them are named, so looking forward to that. Well, actually, not to mention the Lions 2027. I won't get into that though. A little bit of a spoiler. Some notable players there. I might have mentioned already. Vicky Elms-Kinlan. Her 2 tries were just spectacular. Such pace for a winger. Sorry, she would have such pace for a winger, except she's an outside centre. So again, fair play to her. She's a very strong player, and her tackling there was also solid. So not only doing the runs and the tries, but really maintaining that defensive line too. Robin O'Connor there. I think she had probably the 2 most spectacular tries. Huge runs. Her first one, she beats 3 players who should have actually gotten to her, a 10, a 15, and an outside centre as well. Couldn't keep up with her. So that's just crazy. Her second one, she was actually intercepted within 3 metres and still had the power to like pull herself out of that tackle and stretch over for the try. So look, you'll be seeing a lot more of Robin, no doubt, in this team and most likely in the international teams as well. Linda Jugang, a proper pace. You don't get them too often, but when you do, it just clicks. It didn't even look like she got tired out there, which was just crazy because the amount of carries, the amount of tackles, and all the scrums. She had just as good a try as any of the back line. It was obviously an asset to have a prop that's that fast, but look, the sport today has obviously conditioned props to be so different to when you're looking back at the props in the early noughties there, who were the size of a Mini Cooper kind of thing. But look, Linda Jugang is so tall, but she's so fast. Like the try she got, the full back looked at her and just said, "No, forget about it." So, look, fair play to Linda Jugang there. Finally, Nisha Smith. She must have assisted nearly all those tries. She definitely had, from what I was counting, about 5 of those assists. She did get one herself, thankfully, in the end. But an all-rounder player. She reminds me of Van der Fleer, the kind of player who can just go out there and just make moves and be able to, get those assists at the perfect time. It's just an integral player, really. Integral for the lineouts too, in fairness. The referee there was Rob McGreer. He was an IRFU referee. I don't think he had any really crazy calls. He had to call for a penalty try once, which was fair enough. It was a high tackle. Then he also had to do a red card for another high tackle, but it was a lot more dangerous. So yeah, lucky, no complaints there. I think he had a good job. In a line, Celtic Challenge winners if this pace is kept. No doubt about it. If I were Glasgow next week now, I'd probably be ripping up those flight logs and just staying at home and saying, no, sure, look, it'd be grand. We'll play another time. All right, so just go quickly into match events. And if you have been listening to the podcast, you would notice that I'm trying to reduce these down. So I'll keep that flow going now for today. So 7th minute there, a try for the Wolfhounds, Niamh Marley. It was Stacey Flood out to Marley. And Marley's actually from Belfast, so in her own turf. Great for her to get the first try. She offhands one of the Brython players deep out into the wing, and there was no stopping her there. No defenders left. Unfortunately, that conversion was missed by Dan O'Brien. That brought the score to 5-0. Didn't have to wait too long. 11th minute, try for Wolfhounds. This was actually a penalty try, but technically this is Robin O'Connor's try. Erin King off a scrum soaks in 2 or 3 tacklers there. She offloads that to Avian Riley, who makes a good run and then puts it over the top to O'Connor, and O'Connor just makes a break for it, runs the whole way, and there was a high tackle at the end, kind of held her up, but the referee correctly decided that was way too high of a tackle. She was the last defender, definitely would have been a try otherwise. So he went under the post, hand up, penalty try. That brought the score to 12-0. So that also resulted in a yellow card in the 11th minute for Lisa Newman for the Brython Thunders there. 17th minute then, another try for the Wolfhounds, Vicky Elms-Kinlan. So this was Jugang out to Daly. Daly takes 2 tacklers to stop her. Fantastic offload out to Vicky Elms-Kinlan, and she was like a hot knife through butter. Saw a gap and just made avail of it. There was absolutely no stopper. Away she goes. Perfect try. That was successfully converted then by Dan O'Brien to bring the score to 19-0. 29th minute, try. Well, I'm going to get tired saying this. 29th minute, try Wolfhounds, Robin O'Connor. This was lovely passes. Like, this was probably one of the set plays that we would have seen. A lot of the other ones were runs, a couple of gaps, a couple of impromptu runs there. But this was lovely set play. A lovely pass across the pitch to a number of players. Gets to Stacey Flood, who again draws in 2 defenders. It must have been a tactic that they've been doing in training sessions to draw in those defenders, and offloads that perfectly to Robin O'Connor, who beats another 3 defenders in the run. And that was the one I was talking about, where it was the winger, the outside centre and the full back just could not keep the pace up with Robin O'Connor. Fantastic. Those conversion was unfortunately missed by Dan O'Brien, brought the score to 24-0. Less than 5 minutes later, 34th minute, try, Wolfhounds. Linda Dugang, this was the one I was talking about. It's just crazy. India Lely actually breaks through 3 defenders there, offloads flat to Linda Dugang, who's already at pace. Linda Dugang offhands the first defender who's looking at her, and then just like a greyhound out of the traps, just makes a break for the line. How is she so fast? I do not know. She got within about 3 metres line. The opposing 15 there just said nope. just let her go into it. Look, some pace, some try. Fantastic work. That conversion was unfortunately missed by Dan O'Brien, brought the score to 29-0. 36th minute then, try for Wolfhounds literally a minute and a half later. None other than Vicky Elms-Kinnan again. This one was an amazing try, probably one of my favourites for the day. Vicky Elms-Kinnan gets the ball inside her own half, breaks the ankles of 2 defenders with a sidestep, and then off like a rocket. Off like a rocket. And the 11 tries to keep up with her and just ends up flattening herself on the floor because she just cannot keep up with the pace of Vicky Elms-Kinnan. Fantastic. Just a class try. Look, the other defenders are hatting a hope. That conversion was unsuccessful. Right under the post, Dan O'Brien brought the score to 36-0, and that was the half-time score. 36 points to Wolfhounds, none to Brython Thunder. Straight away into the second half, no delaying at all. 42nd minute, try Wolfhounds. Stacey Flood, deep and high kick from just outside the 10 metres by Dan O'Brien. Stacey Flood is tracking that in the air, and she has the pace. She's beaten the defenders, and she's tracking it perfectly. The ball just bounces in front of her, but she's on it perfectly. Pops up. No stopping her. No defenders left. Look, I know people say, oh, the bounces are always nice, but she knew where it was going to land. I think it was timed to perfection. That conversion was then successful by Dan O'Brien, so not only kick assist for the try, but then also converting that as well. That brought the score to 43-0. 46th minute, try Wolfhounds. Robin O'Connor. Erin King, again, off the scrum, soaks in the tacklers, gets out to Robin O'Connor, and she is strong enough after the try-7 tackle to just score that. Any other day, honestly, I think that would have been try-7 tackle. But she's able to kind of pivot herself without doing a double movement, stretching over, getting it over the line. That was then successfully converted at a tight angle by Dan O'Brien there, bringing the score to a clean 50-0. 52nd minute, another try, Wolfhounds. Actually, I probably should stop saying Wolfhounds because Brython Thunder hadn't scored anything. Anyway, Maeve Clenahan here. This was Erin King's try as much as Maeve Clenahan's. It was a perfect line out, just outside the 5 metres. Perfect catch, perfect handoff into the back of the maul, perfect pushover try. That's the kind of stellar rugby you want to see, the proper heave rugby. Just done to the T, perfect. Unfortunately, that conversion was missed by Dan O'Brien. Not that it was needed. Brought a score to 55-0. We did have to wait for a while there. It was about 19 minutes later. So the only probably space of the match where there was a bit of back and forward there. 73rd minute, try Wolfhounds. Jade Gaffney. Probably one of the hard work tries, but still quite good. It was more a display of the offloads than anything. So there was an offloads inside and offloads outside. It makes its way then eventually to Jade Gaffney within 5 metres, and there was no one there to stop her. One thing I will note on this one though, there was a little bit of a dirty post try hit there. When the try scorer goes down, slides on the ground, puts it down, and then the other tackler comes in with a nasty after hit. I didn't like that. I don't like that crack. It's unnecessary, and Jade Gaffney did have a chat with the ref after. He didn't see it or something. I don't know. Anyway, not to be taken away from it. That was converted successfully by Stacey Flood, who took over the kick in there in the 70th minute. That brought the score to 62-0. 74th minute then, red card, Brython Thunder. So yeah, look, there was a very high tackle by Ellen Jones there. That resulted in a penalty, which in the 79th minute, after all that, we actually converted to a try for the Wolfhounds. Nisha Smith, she finally got the try she deserved after setting up all the other ones. And this one was ridiculous. There was a line out at the 22, goes up straight down into the maul, and what did it do? Only push 21 metres of a maul and just get stopped on the line. It's a little pop pass and out to Nisha Smith, and look, there was no one stopping her there. She absolutely smashes through 2 defenders to get that try for herself. But seriously, 21 metres of maul. Unreal, just stellar rugby. You love to see it. That conversion then, the final conversion, successful by Stacey Flood, brought the score and the full-time score to 69-0, 11 tries. Player of the match there was Stacey Flood. Look, it'd be probably shorter to describe what she didn't do in that match. She was all over the place. Fantastic. A try for herself and 2 conversions. Played a blinder. Look, she's an all-rounder player. She needs no smoke up her hole here. She knows she's a good player, and fair play to her. She deserves that player of the match for sure. All right, so where does that leave? I'll be brief here. Where does that leave the Celtic Challenge table? So I'll just go with the Wolfhounds here. The Wolfhounds are at the top of the table, 4 for 4. They are 3 points clear of Gwalia Lightning. And look, honestly, if you think about it, they have, they'll come to play them again. But Gwalia Lightning are actually 3 points clear of Clovers there, the other Irish team. So they're on 14 points. Look, that's great to see. You love to see the 2 Irish teams doing well there. There's a huge gap then to Glasgow Warriors women, who are in 4th with 8 points. And then you have Edinburgh Rugby women in 5th with 5 points. And then poor old Brython Thunder in last with 1 point. So the next game is Wolfhounds versus Glasgow Warriors women. That's at 3 p.m. Sunday, 25th of January, and that is in the Virgin Media Park in Cork. Tickets are definitely still available, so please do, if you're around the rail capital, you might as well call down and support the women there. Right, finally, discussion point there. The first ever Women's Lions Tour has just been announced, with all of the scheduled matches, fixtures settled as well. Look, this is a very exciting time. You love to see it. It's great for women's rugby. It was only a matter of time that the women's rugby got a British and Irish Lions tour, and it's in no other than New Zealand, so it's going to be immense. I'll just go through the dates and the teams that they'll be playing. So the first one kicking off there, Saturday, September 4th, 2027. That's the Black Ferns 15 versus the British, Irish and Lions women's. Then it goes the following week, Saturday, September 11th. That's against New Zealand versus British, Irish and Lions women's. That's in Auckland. Sorry, the other one was in Whangarei. Then it's Tuesday, September 14th, so it's only literally 3 days later. I'm not entirely sure how they're going to be able to do that. And that'll be an invitational 15. So they'll probably invite another team to come in. It could be a Japanese team. Maybe, given the location, it probably will be the Australian team. But that'd be great to see as well. Hopefully it's one of the Islanders, though. I think that'd be really good for the Islander women's teams to be able to be involved in those. So that'll be September 14th, and that's in Hamilton, and that'll be a Tuesday, actually. Then after that, 4 days later, Saturday, September 18th, they'll play New Zealand once again, and that'll be against the British, Irish and Lions women's. And then finally, the final game will be Saturday, September 25th, and that's again against New Zealand. Kind of finish off that, just in case there's a tie there. Normally that's how they do those. And that'll be New Zealand versus British, Irish Lions in Christchurch. So that'll be very cool as the final game. This is coming from a support of $3.9 million from the New Zealand government as an investment into this women's rugby tour. So fair play to them. That is some going. You love to see it. It's great for women's rugby. We should all definitely try and support that. I was actually just in New Zealand there last January. What a country. It's like walking into Jurassic Park every time you turn around. It's amazing. Obviously, it's Lord of the Rings country as well, so you might be able to tie in a little trip to Hobbiton there. But look, if you're in a position to, I definitely would try and make a holiday around those dates. That would just be immense. Imagine the atmosphere of being able to go over there, tour New Zealand, head off to the women's British and Irish Lions team games. That would just be amazing. And obviously, look, coming into that, this year's Six Nations and next year's Six Nations are obviously clearly setting the stage for that team. So hopefully Ireland do very well in this season and next season, and we get a good few Irish players on that team. That'd be fantastic for them. And obviously, absolutely, there's no doubt it'll be fielded by a load of Leinster women's players there. You know very well, the performance players on our team are just fantastic. So looking forward to that. Can't wait. All right, folks, that's her. If you haven't already, please do follow us on social media. Get involved. Give us an old YouTube comment there. Give us an old Spotify comment. We're on Instagram, Reddit, and Blue Sky and Threads. So come on and follow us over there. Try to post a few memes as well, so hopefully keep us entertained. Look, hope you're able to make it down to Cork this weekend. Please do try and get out and support the women's Wolfhounds there. It'll be fantastic to see them, and you just know it's going to be an exciting game given that game that just went by. As always, folks, thanks for listening.